Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam. Thank you for staying connected with me. If you have listened to my previous podcast episode, then you know that I am thinking about the question, and the question is, who is going to be the next House Speaker? I mentioned already that in Congress, there was a vote, and the vote resulted in the exit of Kevin McCarthy from the office of the House Speaker. Kevin McCarthy, who served as the Speaker of the House, he is now the former Speaker, which means there is a vacancy, and now the question is, who is going to be getting that position? Who is going to be the next Speaker of the United States House of Representatives? Now, I'm sure that my friends have different opinions. I will mention to you some of the names that are being discussed, and you can let me know who you think should be the next House Speaker. Now, some of the names that are being discussed widely, if you're listening to the news, if you turn on a TV station and you're listening to the commentators and the political analysts discussing this matter, then you will hear a few names. Number one, Congressman Jim Jordan. Congressman Jordan is a very popular figure. He's from Ohio, member of Congress, and a strong conservative. And he made it public that he wants to be the next House Speaker. But he's not the only one who wants to be the next House Speaker. There's another member of Congress who also made it public that he is interested in that position, and that is Congressman Steve Scalise. Now, Congressman Steve Scalise is also very popular. He's a strong conservative. And so the question now is it going to be Congressman Jordan or Congressman Scalise? Who is going to be the next House Speaker? Or is it going to be somebody else? My friends, there's another name that's being discussed, and that's the name of Donald J. Trump. Former President Trump reportedly may be nominated for the position of House Speaker. And then the question is it going to be Jim Jordan? Is it going to be Steve Scalise? Is it going to be Donald Trump? Those are the names that people are talking about. Now, I don't know who it is going to be, but what I do know is that there's healthy competition between Jim Jordan and Steve Scalise. Now, with regard to the former president, Donald J. Trump, he is not currently a member of Congress, but if you're paying attention to the news, then I'm sure you have seen that the House Speaker does not have to be a sitting member of Congress. It can be somebody from outside of Congress. And so, we just have to wait and see what happens going forward. But the names that are being discussed right now are Congressman Jim Jordan, Congressman Steve Scalise, and former President Donald J. Trump. So let's wait. Let's see what happens, and I will look forward to sharing with you more updates and comments about the race for the position of the House Speaker. My friends, let's now move on to another topic which I frequently discuss in my podcast. If you have been paying attention, then you know that I've talked about immigration a lot. I talk about immigration, and I'm a strong supporter of border security. Now, I saw in the news that Secretary Mayorkas has finally said that there is acute and immediate need to basically waive some federal laws to build a barrier, to build a wall in Texas at the border. Why? Because illegal immigration has increased significantly. Now, if you are paying attention, if you have been paying attention to what's been going on since 2021, since President Biden came to office, then you know that illegal immigration skyrocketed ever since President Joe Biden came to office. And I have been talking about the importance of border security. I have been saying that we need to secure the border, we need to secure the border, we need to secure the border, and we need to stop the flow of illegal immigrants. And finally, it's just surprising. Finally, I'm seeing news reports that the Biden administration is now admitting that there's an immediate need to build a border wall in South Texas. Why? Because illegal immigration has surged, has increased significantly, has skyrocketed. And so this is just, surprising to me that I'm finally seeing reports of the Biden administration admitting that there's a need for a border wall. The Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security posted on the U.S. Federal Register. The agency posted an announcement, and it's public information, you can go and look it up, that talks about the construction of I'm just going to read to you what it says on the Federal Register. There's a summary, and the summary says that the Secretary of Homeland Security has determined, pursuant to law, that it is necessary to waive certain laws, regulations, and other legal requirements in order to ensure the expeditious construction of barriers and roads in the vicinity of the international land border in Starr County, Texas. So this is the Biden administration that is finally recognizing the importance of a barrier, a border wall in South Texas to stop the flow of illegal immigrants. All I can say is, wow. This is very interesting. I mean, this administration has done such a poor job when it comes to border security. The Biden administration kept the border open, and millions of foreign nationals entered the country by crossing the southern border, and the conservatives, the Republicans, the American people kept asking for border security, kept asking for some kind of a barrier on the southern border to stop the flow of illegal immigrants. And it's not just a physical barrier that we need. We need physical barrier, we need border patrol, we need technology. There has to be a comprehensive approach to stop the flow of illegal immigrants. And if you go back to the days of the Trump administration, then you will remember that the Trump administration worked really hard, and Republicans in Congress worked really hard to ensure that we could secure the border. And there was great progress that took place when President Trump was in office. But as soon as Biden came to power, everything changed and illegal immigration skyrocketed. And so far, since 2021, millions and millions of foreign nationals have crossed the southern border to enter the United States illegally. And finally, I'm just surprised to see that Secretary Mayorkas is talking about acute and immediate need to waive certain federal laws to build a border wall, to build a barrier in the vicinity of international land border in Starr County, Texas. My friends, we have to wait and see what happens going forward. I will be paying attention to this because, as you know, if you've been listening to my podcast, that border security is, in my opinion, the top priority, one of the top priorities right now. And I will be paying attention, and as there's more breaking news, I'll be sharing my comments with you through my podcast. So please stay connected with me and continue listening to Explore and Engage with Anam. My friends, let me talk about something else that I previously talked about. I talked about Joe Biden's dog, Commander, also known as the first dog. So Joe Biden's dog, Commander, has reportedly bitten several people. At least I know that there have been a series of biting incidents. I don't know who the victims of the biting incidents are, but there has been a series. There's a series of incidents that happened with Joe Biden's dog Commander biting people. And finally, I've actually written a letter to the editor about it, if I remember correctly. You know, you can always go to my website, tossifanam.net. You can look under published opinions and you can see the letters to editors and op-eds that I've written. And I remember that I wrote something about it in the not so distant past. Now, was it about Major or Commander? I know at some point there were two dogs, Major and Commander. But I've written about this issue about President Joe Biden's dog biting people. And I also wrote an opinion that I think there should be no pets in the White House. No pets should be allowed in the White House, whether it's a dog or a cat or some other kind of pet. You know, I think the White House should be a pet-free zone, and I may have talked about it in my previous podcast episode. Anyway, so the update that I want to share with you is that Biden's dog Commander has been removed from the White House. I think this is an appropriate step, because if a dog is being aggressive, if a dog is biting people one after another, then obviously this dog should be removed. And so Biden's dog Commander has finally been removed from the White House. Now, is it a permanent removal or is it just a temporary removal and the dog's going to be returning to the White House? I don't know. But I am glad to see that the dog has been removed from the White House. And if you ask me, I think the dog should stay away from the White House. As I said, I believe no pets belong in the White House. White House should be a pet-free zone. That's my opinion, and some of you may agree with me, some of you may not agree with me, but I am interested to hear from you, so share with me your thoughts and comments. Go to tossifanam.net, send me a message. You can also find me on social media. I look forward to hearing from you, and please do not forget to sign up for my e-newsletter. If you have not done so already, please go to tossifanam.net and sign up for my e-newsletter. Thank you, my friends, for continuing to listen to my podcast, and I hope to be back again soon with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam.